In every old British house, there are sounds you learn to ignore. The pipes, the creaking wood, the footsteps upstairs when nobody's home. But when I moved into Ashcroft House, there was one sound I could never explain. A child knocking from behind a locked basement door. And the worst part, the previous owner warned me never to open it. I moved into the house during the middle of winter. Ashcroft House stood alone at the end of a quiet northern England street. The place was old, older than any house I'd ever lived in. Faded wallpaper peeled from the walls. The wooden floors groaned at night, and the basement had been sealed for years. The estate agent tried to laugh it off. He said the house simply needed a bit of work, but the moment I stepped inside, something felt wrong. The first few nights were normal enough. Cold hallways, old pipes rattling behind the walls, wind scraping tree branches against the windows. Then, one night around 2 a.m, I heard it. 3 soft knocks. Slow, careful, knock, knock, knock. At first I thought it was the boiler, but the sound kept happening. Every single night, and each time, it came from beneath the kitchen floor. The basement. I tried ignoring it, until Thursday night. That was the first time I heard the voice. A child's voice, weak, shaking. "Please let me out." I froze instantly. Every hair on my arm stood up. For a moment, I genuinely believed there was a child trapped beneath the house. I grabbed my phone torch and walked toward the basement door beside the pantry. The door looked strange. Unlike the rest of the house, it looked newer. Heavy black wood, fresh scratches around the frame, a thick metal lock. Then the knocking started again. Knock, knock, knock. Slow, patient, almost polite. I swallowed hard and asked, "Who's down there?" Silence. Then the voice whispered, "I'm cold." I stepped back immediately and called the police. When they arrived, 2 officers forced the basement open. But there was nobody inside, just dust, concrete walls, old shelves covered in cobwebs, and at the far end of the basement, a tiny white door, too small for an adult. One of the officers stared at it for several seconds without speaking. Then he quietly asked me, "Do you have children living here?" I said no. The officer looked uncomfortable after that. Before leaving, he paused near the front door and said something strange. "This isn't the first call from this address." That night, I couldn't sleep. At exactly 3:17 a.m., I heard footsteps in the kitchen above me. Slow footsteps. Wet footsteps. I opened the security camera feed on my phone. The basement stairs appeared empty at first. Then, the screen glitched. Static covered the image for 2 seconds, and when the picture returned, the basement door was open. I know I locked it. I know I did. My hands shook while I walked downstairs. Each step felt colder than the last. The air smelled damp, rotten somehow, and at the bottom of the stairs, the tiny white door stood open too. Inside was a hidden room. Old toys lay scattered across the floor. Children's drawings covered the walls. Everything was covered in mold and dust. Then I noticed the scratching. Hundreds of scratch marks carved into the inside of the door, like someone had spent years trying to escape. That's when I found the photograph. An old black and white family picture standing outside Ashcroft House in 1964. 2 parents and a little boy. Written on the back were the words, "Edward Ashcroft, missing December 1964. My stomach dropped instantly. That was the same voice I'd been hearing. Suddenly, the basement light went out. Complete darkness swallowed the room. Then the knocking returned. Except this time, it wasn't behind the door. It was directly behind me. Knock, knock, knock. I turned slowly, and standing in the corner of the basement was a little boy, pale skin, wet hair, barefoot. His head tilted slightly to one side, But his eyes looked terrified. Not evil, terrified. Slowly, he raised one shaking hand and pointed toward the wall behind me. That's when I heard it. Breathing. Deep, heavy breathing inside the walls. The boy whispered, "He's still here." Then every light in the basement exploded at once. I ran. I don't even remember climbing the stairs. I just remember hearing something massive moving beneath the floorboards. Heavy footsteps following me from below. The next morning, I left Ashcroft House forever. But before handing back the keys, I searched the property records online, and I found something the estate agent never mentioned. Back in 1964, the Ashcroft family reported their son missing. Police searched the entire house, but they never searched behind the basement walls. 3 months later, the father took his own life in that same basement, and the mother disappeared shortly after. The house remained empty for decades. Now sometimes, I still wake up in the middle of the night hearing those same 3 knocks. Slow. Patient. Waiting. Knock. 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 And every single time I remember the little boy's final warning. Don't let him open the door. Because some doors in old houses were never built to keep people out. They were built to keep something inside.